Welcome back to the Financial Freedom Edge. We're just at the edge of glory, you guys. Just kidding. So today is Friday. I am driving to Forest Grove. For those unfamiliar, it's about an hour away from where I'm at. It's one of our secondary, tertiary markets. So we got Hillsboro, which is kind of a main market that people invest in, you know, very expensive. Then you have Forest Grove, Portland being the primary, Hillsboro being the secondary, and then Forest Grove being tertiary, kind of on the outskirts. Those are actually pretty good places to invest. Portland, super overpriced, just like any of your any of your metropolitan areas, right? Like your main area of your town or city or state is usually the tough place to invest unless you have a lot of money. So a lot of people, a lot of like scrappy investors, you know, have to go to the secondary markets. And just recently, because of COVID, when everybody, you could throw anything on the market, you could throw anything on the market and it would sell. A lot of people were doing that and killing it in secondary markets. Even me, right? Like my properties, they're all in secondary. One of them is in a tertiary market, and I'm doing pretty well for buy and holds. So Forest Grove is a tertiary market, number 3, so it's out a little ways, but we're looking at this for a fix and flip. So I'm heading out here right now, and I just wanted to make this quick video. I know it took me a while to get to it, but basically, what am I looking for? What am I not wanting to see? So very quickly, the obvious things that you don't want to see when you're going to a property that you're wanting to buy for an investment purposes is a lot of work, right? You don't want foundation issues. You know, I mean, if the price is right, you know, if the property is worth $500,000 all fixed up and somebody's giving it to you for free, okay, sure, I'll spend $100,000 or more fixing the foundation because I'm getting the property for free. The likelihood of that is very low. But, you know, foundations can cost anywhere from $40,000, $50,000, upwards of $100,000. That is a huge expense for one thing. And then you're going to have to disclose that there were foundation issues and you fix them. That still scares buyers away. Even if you have a, you know, a really legitimate, strong company, which I would recommend if you're doing foundation work, right? Get a legit company. Do not mess around with that. That is the foundation of the house. Buyers are already scared. You need a company that people can Google and that feel very confident that they're going to be around for the next 50 years and that their guarantee means something and that they do good work. So don't mess around. Don't cheap out on the foundation. You will regret it if you need to do that. As a newbie, don't recommend it. So you're avoiding that. I can't remember the exact name. I think it's Federal Union Pacific panels. Stab and poke panels, I think is what they call them. They have been deemed an extreme fire hazard by the federal government. There have been lawsuit after lawsuit on these electrical panels by Federal Union Pacific. I don't know if that's a thing where you guys are at. But I know it is a thing around my area. I've seen maybe 2, but that is something to be seriously concerned about, because you might have to, and again, I'm not an electrician, right? This is where I would go get more research because I haven't seen very many of them, but you may have to like rewire your entire house, or at the very least, you know, do some serious mitigation on that panel. So you're looking, you know, if you do it with somebody who knows what they're doing, which with plumbing, electrical, and foundation, you always should, you're probably looking at like maybe $5 to $10 grand, and you got to wait for them to get to it. And if you have you know, and the reason why these things have been sued into oblivion, this company, is because there's been so much, you know, houses that caught on fire because of these things. So, you know, you're putting yourself at that risk, right? That you flip on a light switch and boom, you know, the whole house goes up in fire, right? And I'm pretty sure if your insurance company knows that panel is there, they will, you know, you know, and I know I'm kind of getting into it a little bit, but I just want to share information with you guys. From what I've heard, and I would check with an insurance agent, check with your own agent, I've heard that, let's say your house does go up in flames and they determine the cause to be a faulty electrical panel that is Union Pacific or whatever, and you didn't tell them, they'll deny your claim. Remember, you guys, insurance is there to make money. They're not really there to help you. So if they can deny your claim, they will. If they can try to deny your claim, they will. So if you go through, and I am guilty of this too, if you go through and do low level voltage, changing out just plug-ins and light switches, and you do it wrong, and I'm not saying I've done it wrong, but I'm saying I've done this work. If you do it wrong and catch your place on fire, and your insurance company, you know, through the investigation of what caused the fire, determine it to be faulty electrical work done by a non-professional / homeowner, you know, they may deny your claim, right? Because you messed it up. So just be very, very careful doing your own electrical work. Be very, very careful doing your own plumbing work. You know, please pull permits when necessary. You know, if you have your Uncle Joe, who's done plumbing for 50 years, and he, you know, sets in some plumbing the wrong way and floods your house, insurance isn't going to help you. They're going to say, why'd you have your Uncle Joe do the plumbing? Right, sucker? So anyways, so those are some of the things that you want to avoid. Heavy foundation work, you know, bad electrical panels, bad electrical in general, you know, bad plumbing issues, right? You know, if you see a lot of water damage, you know, either coming from the roof or from, you know, along the bottom of the flooring, right? You know, generally, I think they're within 6 inches from the floor is where, you know, water lines run through, unless it's running to a fixture or something. If you see a bunch of water damage and it's not from the roof, then it's probably from a leaky pipe. And, you know, if there's one leak, maybe there's more. So just be very mindful when, you know, and I'll point these things out. I'm going to do a video of me walking this property too, and I'll point out things that, you know, kind of concern me and things that I think are great. So those are some of the things that I look to avoid when I'm looking at a property, because I don't want to spend 6 months. And yes, if you're doing foundation work, it could take 6 months for them to get to you and to actually do the job. So, like, you know, and you're paying for that. You're holding the property, you're incurring expenses, property taxes, interest from the home equity line of credit you're using, interest from a hard money lender, you know, whatever source of funding you're using. You have insurance, taxes, utilities, all that stuff. Now the good part. Now that you've made it all the way this far in the video, what to look for? You want solid plumbing. You want a solid foundation. You want a roof that has, you know, 15 years on it, right? Where, you know, anything less than 15 years, you know, you're probably going to have to negotiate with the buyer. But if you got like 15 years on that roof, probably good. Probably good. You might be able to rebuttal and say, hey, look, you know, just because you're buying the house, it's not a brand new build construction. You knew that you were buying a house with a roof that wasn't going to be brand new. So, you know, be mindful of that. But, you know, you're looking for things that you can fix easily. You want cosmetic things, right? You want to be able to replace flooring. That's cheap. That's sub $10,000. Paint, very cheap, easy fix. You want to be able to open things up, right? If you have a really funky floor plan that can easily be opened up by non-load-bearing walls. For the love of God, do not do things that require a permit from your city. And maybe I'm just a little intense on that, because Portland, Oregon is extremely tight with their permits. It takes forever. It's a pain in the ass. Pardon my French. It's very difficult. So anytime you include the city on something, they're going to take their sweet time getting to it, and it's going to cost you money, right? While you wait for the permits, all that stuff. So please do not do any structural work unless absolutely necessary. But you're looking for, you know, paint, flooring, you're wanting it to smell funny because you can use a primer to cover the smell. You're looking for landscaping, you know, does it have really crappy, you know, curb appeal? Is there a bunch of junk? You can get rid of the junk, you can get rid of the smell, you can change the color of the paint, you can change the flooring, you can add stainless steel appliances. All of that stuff is relatively cheap. Yes, is it $5,000 to $10,000? Yes, but in the grand scheme of things, is it a lot cheaper than having to demo half the house? Yes. Is a lot cheaper than have to replumb or rerun electrical wire through the entire house? Yes. So you want the cheap, easy fixes. And pro tip here, before I wrap things up, as a home buyer, ask yourself, you got to put yourself in the home buyer's shoes, right? The person you're selling to. Do you think that they are going to pay you extra for stuff that is behind the wall, that they cannot see? Are they going to care about new electrical and new plumbing? Yes. Will they pay more for it? Not really. Not really. Because when you buy a house, you may not expect it to be brand new, like the roof, right? Nobody expects a brand new everything, but they expect it to work. So as a buyer, it makes me feel good that I don't have to worry about the plumbing and electrical. And will I pay a little bit more for it? Yes. Will I pay you the entire cost of it? No. Will I pay you more? Absolutely not. So just keep that in mind. If it is behind the wall, if they cannot see it, smell it, or touch it, or see it, they're not going to pay you more for it, right? Plumbing, electrical, drywall, you know, the things they pay for, and the things that I do on my rentals, stainless steel appliances, paint, flooring, the things that people use and look at every single day. Those are the things that get you paid. Curb appeal, right? When they walk in the door, is the door easy to open, right? Things that they touch, the stainless steel appliances, the kitchen sink, right? The bathroom, the things that they use. That's where you're going to make your money. Not when it comes to, you know, replacing copper piping, not when it comes to rerunning electrical because the electrical is old tube and knob and you bought a house that was built in 1902. So just be aware of that, you guys. Those are some of the things that, you know, on my way here to Forest Grove, I'm going to be looking, you know, and, you know, wish me luck. The price that the wholesaler has it at is interesting enough to go walk it. This is put on by another wholesaler, so it is okay to buy from wholesalers. You just got to run your numbers. What could it sell for, minus the cost to get it there, minus your profit for doing all the work, equals your offer. Catch you next time.